In business now, there is reaction tonight to the news that the operations of Resolution Life Assurance Company Limited, or ResLife, are coming to an end. The company today notified thousands of policyholders that it stopped accepting premiums from all cases of policyholders from April 1st. Now, ResLife took over the policies of failed insurance giant Clico. President of the Barbados Investors and Policyholders Alliance, June Fowler, says BIPA wished that the entity would have been a success, but the government, as a major shareholder, is doing what it thinks is best. She says that they are in constant communication with the board to ensure that there are guidelines and that the process is fair. But Ms. Fowler has pointed out that there are still a lot of questions, especially where the maximum payout of $20,000 is concerned.
Somebody who has maybe 15,000 or 20, just 20,000, I assume, and getting cash will be happy about that. Again, the concerns are from those persons who may have 150,000 or 400,000 or 300,000, and especially the pensioners who have been receiving their pension since January last year. The question is, how are they going to be dealt with? And so I may have 100,000 and I get 20. My 80,000, what type of bond am I going to get? And if I get this bond, is it tradable in the first year, or is it tradable after I hold it for 4 years? What is my interest rate?
Now, we actually have some answers to those questions coming to hand now. Policyholders and claimants of ResLife are expected to benefit from a settlement package comprised of a $103 million cash payout and $300 million in bonds. According to a statement issued by ResLife this evening, the settlement process will see eligible policyholders or claimants due less than $20,000 receiving cash. Those due amounts greater than $20,000 will receive $20,000 in cash and the balance in the form of 15-year bonds. The management and staff of ResLife are working diligently with the company's regulator, the Financial Services Commission, as well as the Ministry of Finance to commence the process of dispersing the cash and bonds as settlements. Now, ResLife's clients are expected to start receiving correspondence from the company in the coming weeks outlining their policy details and entitlements. Well, government is pushing to have an entrepreneur in every home. Minister of Small Business, Entrepreneurship and Commerce, Dwight Sutherland, says that while it may seem ambitious to some, it's an initiative they must pursue. And he outlined the reasons for going in this direction.
So as to maximize income earning potential, stimulate economic activity, and increase the penetration of the Barbadian brand into the Caribbean and international marketplaces. We have to set goals, and indeed that's the focus. So if we aim low, we will not achieve anything substantial. So we have to set high goals, and there's nothing wrong with the university indeed focusing on creating an entrepreneur in every household. And I know Dr. Robinson and the Vice Chancellor is indeed on board with respect to growing this economy and also the regional economy through the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Now, to ensure that the thrust government wants is generated, a national innovation program will be established in schools. Mr. Sutherland says school curricula is being redesigned to make science, technology, engineering, the arts and maths or STEAM subjects a priority.
We also have a Youth Innovation Award to encourage students to create and showcase new technologies of all kinds. The award, which provides $150,000 as a prize money for all youth. When won by the students, the prize is allocated between the winning school, teachers, and students. Indeed, this is a good motivator, and indeed something that the young students will look forward to as it relates to innovation and indeed entrepreneurship.
And it's time now to take a look at how those stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region. In Jamaica, Scotia Group Jamaica Limited was the volume leader with 508,817 units. In Trinidad and Tobago, JMMB Group Limited was the volume leader with 202,426 shares changing hands, all for a value of $356,318.28. And here in Barbados, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the sole security trading 600 shares at $3.25 each. And in international business, more and more Americans are struggling to pay their rent, and the problem is not just limited to major cities. Politicians met earlier this week to discuss the growing housing crisis in rural areas, which leaves millions without a decent place to live.
Rural Neighbourhoods President Stephen Kirk says if issues like funding, new construction and government intervention aren't addressed, the future for rural communities is bleak.
It may just require low-interest loans. It may require subsidies for rents. But without these, we're killing rural America. We're killing rural towns as people have to leave to find jobs in other places. And then they face a similar problem in urban America.
Across the U.S., newly arrived migrant workers, the elderly and the poor are facing a crisis that, if left unchecked, will have consequences for the entire nation. In many places, food banks are busier than ever, a direct effect of the rising cost of living. What projects like Rural Neighbourhoods do for families is give them dignity and security. But the picture for 8 million others across the U.S. is growing increasingly desperate. Experts say 1 in 4 rural communities is now facing an affordable housing crisis, and one that's set to get worse if it's not addressed.